Good morning and welcome to the March edition of the GarethJohnstonGolf.com newsletter. Wanted to talk to you about a very specialist shot called the high lob. And what you can see here is one of the best short game exponents practicing the shot. He is setting up in a number of ways that will help facilitate the execution of this shot. So you can see, starting from the ground up, he's got the ball leftward in his stance. It's towards his front foot. He's got the blade wide open, got a little bit of weight favouring his front foot, not too much. He is looking fairly central here, but generally speaking, we always want to keep a little weight in that front foot to make sure that we get the club delivered correctly under the ball on a slightly downward blow. Now, what you can see as he makes his move up to the top, he stays very fixed. There's no real weight shift. He's rotating around his axis. He's keeping that weight ever so slightly in his front foot. And the key thing here is what happens down at the golf ball. So he's stayed on top of it. As he moves down into impact, you'll note now that he's already starting to turn his belt buckle to the target. So that's clearing, that's giving him a little bit of room to turn through the shot. Now as he comes into impact, he's already fixed his low point effectively by keeping his weight ever so slightly in his front foot. But just watch how the club interacts with the ground. So it comes in now. You'll see here that the back edge of the club strikes the turf underneath the golf ball. And just note a couple of things. There's no lean on the shaft. The shaft is back to that vertical position that it was presented to the ball at address. Now you can see now as he comes in, the back side, the sole part of the golf club, strikes the turf and takes a little bit of grass. Now there's no huge divot here. What he's done is used the bounce and allowed the characteristics of the golf club to get the ball airborne. And you'll note here that the club has passed the ball very early on in the through swing. So there's a little bit of speed to get the club past that impact area. The club head is past the hands, and then look how he continues to rotate towards the target. So the key thing here is he hasn't kept his head down and thrown his arms at it. He's turned early, he's allowed his torso, his chest, his shirt buttons to look towards the target whilst maintaining all that loft on the club head. And that effectively will get the ball airborne, going very high and stopping very quickly. I think the key things to note here are what happens in setup. Ball forward, ever such a slight bit of weight in the left side. He's also got that shaft very vertical at address and then very vertical at impact. So really setup is helping him achieve what we want to see at impact. But generally speaking, this shot, if you can add this into your armoury and use it correctly when necessary, it is one in which can kind of overlap towards other parts of the game. Something like a high soft bunker shot, very, very similar characteristics. Blade open, blade is presented back to that position at address with the sole of the club striking the sand, not the leading edge. As soon as you get leading edge going in, you will start to get the club wanting to go underground and effectively slowing down as well. So using the bounce correctly as shown here will allow the club just to bruise the ground and nip that ball off of the turf without a huge divot, allowing you to make the best spin control you can get. So here you can see very simply, it's a nice bit of rotation, lovely bit of loft maintenance, and ever such a slight bruising of the grass. Try and practice this. Use it really. You only really want to be playing this kind of shot when the ball is sat nicely, as if it's on a very low little tee peg. You don't want to be playing this shot when it is in a slight depression or in a divot or anything like that. That is very expert. So use this when the ball will allow you to play it. Hopefully this will help you around the greens, and in the coming months when the weather changes, you'll be able to execute this shot off some really nice grass that is coming imminently. Any questions or any help you need, please feel free to email me at gareth@garethjohnstongolf.com. Play well.